To the contemporary art student of the 21st century, here are questions posed to help us gather our confusions and determine the struggles of modern-day art. Please note, since my efforts to define the mammoth topic of art are immense, we may as well disregard the questions. What is a contemporary art student? Who are they? Let us assume for the sake of this video that if it is relatable to the viewer, they are a contemporary art student, no matter whether enrolled in art college, self-teaching, self-initiated, or enrolled but not actually practicing, like perhaps many of the people in your course. Consider these questions and analysis relevant to your creative self. Firstly, let us define art. What is it? Or is the more appropriate question to ask, what isn't it? It is commonly suggested that art can be whatever you want it to be. If that is the case, then why are there multiple genres and styles of art defining pieces of art? And why is it that traditional art is not accepted and practiced as much in modern society as contemporary art? If art is deemed anything you would like it to be, what if, in a particular case, an artist wanted to create a contemporary piece of art with a traditional style? Is that adhering to the standards of contemporary art? How so and how not? What isn't art? Is it possible to suggest that art is everything? Is it valid to argue that finding an inanimate object can be considered art? Is it then suitable to group it into a specific type of art movement which as a result excludes it from being a lawful art practice in contemporary art? Is it politically correct to assume that an accidental result of some sort of experimentation is able to be considered an artwork in effect? Or does it not meet the necessary requirements of process to be accepted as a legitimate art piece? How then does that differentiate between art made through a complicated and lengthy process from a piece created by purely accidental happenings? How does the work of greatly esteemed traditional master painters compare to the minimalistic scribbles or sculptures of latter-day art? How then is it possible to deny a student's right to create a traditional piece of art if art is subjective to only a contemporary style? Is art really whatever it wants to be? Art is not so much a visible representation of an idea. Art is philosophical. Art is a delicate subject that is the cause of much debate. What is acceptable in the eyes of the lecturers at university? What is acceptable in the eyes of our tutors?
De ce este atât de des că piesele noastre finale de muncă nu sunt acceptate ca legitime piese de artă în cazul în care, de fapt, arta poate fi orice vrei să fie? De ce atunci este mai acceptabil pentru cineva pentru a pune împreună o bucată de muncă în ultimele minute trecătoare ale zilei lor cu materiale aleatoare, creând o mizerie care este ingrat la ochi și apoi îl numesc artă și să fie gradate la un standard ridicat? Este arta subiectivă atunci? Are arta trebuie să fie plăcut ochiului sau este doar faptul că o calitate estetică opțională?
The question then arrives, who is more skilled and is the skill of certain art practices and find them possible to come to appreciate it?
Is the practice of creating something detailed and amazing to the eye significant skill? Or is modern-day art an excuse for poor workmanship that is not able to be executed by certain people?
Who then does the most work? Whose work is to be more valued? The artist that labours endless hours to perfect a piece of work which is a difficult task in itself, or the artist who labours little and creates an accidental masterpiece that is the cause of much debate considering its worthiness? When walking into an art gallery, you are confronted by a variety of pieces. You are told to aspire to be like the artists that are present in the room through their work. You see variations of odd objects, clusters of random materials that make no sense, beautiful and laborious works all combined in the one room. But then, who should you aspire to be like?
What if your practice is already a million times more skilled than the artists in the room? What then is the real aspiration? To be as experienced in the art of experience itself. certain is what you are creating really art? Or is it just what someone told you is art? Is it a preconceived notion of what art is? Are you trying to be unique with your art, just like everybody else?
Are you following the artistic crowd in creating hideous monstrosities and deeming it art because of the process? Or are you creating something that requires hours of endless toil and then considering that art?
Art students, I'm going to tell you mi conclusion to these questions. This might not be something you would like to hear. Class, if you do not want to make his realization and come to the same conclusion, then stop this video now.
For those of you still watching, hold on to your seats. If art can be deemed anything, what is then the cause of much debate? If art can be classified, if art can be disputed, if art can be marked anything less than a high distinction, if art is not all considered perfect, if art is then subjective, if art is any of those things, art does not exist. Art is too complicated to be art. To my fellow classmates of Queensland University of Technology falsely under the assumption that we are studying a Bachelor of Fine Arts, we are actually studying a Bachelor of Fine. I'm sorry to have exposed this topic in such a blatant way. However, there is still hope.
Creativity in its finest is something that relaxes the creator and solves many stress-related issues. Go out, create something, but don't call it art.
For anyone who has watched this and can't deal with this sudden realization, follow this link. https://www.student.qut.edu.au/enrollment/continuing-enrollment/interrupting-your-studies/leaving-university-withdrawing-from-your-course